Well, hello, welcome to our day of live streams from a cardboard cathedral here in a school playing field in Coventry. I do hope you can hear us. We were in Dorchester on Monday, we were in Aberdeen yesterday in Scotland. If you are able to hear us, could you just pop a message in and let us know you can hear us, because we've just had to move all this kit. Haven't had any breakfast, haven't brushed my teeth, haven't had a shower yet. I don't know if you can see me, I'm on the stage. You see me waving down there? We've got people joining us. Let us know who you are, where you're from, where you're calling from. This is one day for creativity, for our creativity to connect us all around the world, to remind us what it is to be human, to show our children, to show our communities, to show our businesses, to show our schools, our brave school leaders, that we can work together for creativity. Oh, I've got a message here. What does that say there? Mrs. Creativity's in the house. Hello, Mrs. Creativity. Lovely to see you there. Happy World Creativity and Innovation Day. Can you let me know if you can hear us, though? Yes, you can hear us loud and clear. You're telepathic as well. Not telepathic, whatever it is. Absolutely fantastic. Cool. We've got more viewers already than we've had all week. Or actually, we've got more viewers now than we've had all lockdown. I think this is fantastic. Well, there's an amazing conference going on at this very moment in Cambridge. Cambridge Assessment are running an event called the Shape Conference. We just had an amazing call from chat from a guy called Mohit. And I'm just going to go back to that now, actually. I just don't want to, because I did put my hand up for a question. I don't know if they're going to come to me. Let's have a look.
Education properly. It reminds me of the, you can find pictures of people ironing and they plug the iron into the light fitting because the only electricity in the building was coming through light fittings. And I feel like throwing laptops and certain tech at schools, it just doesn't look.
So this is live from the Cambridge Assessment Shape Conference happening now.
Okay,
well, in
so
Cambridge, somewhere over the world.
Polls before we do some.
Got some polls first.
Q&A.
Oh, that's exciting.
Karen,
I've got a question in.
Yes, I've just put
Fantastic.
the link into the.
Okay. So
Let's
click on that link, and the first question from Valerie is, whose mindsets and attitudes should we prioritise to change? Politicians, parents, media, students, teachers.
What do we think to that? Let's get that up on the screen. Whose mindsets do we think we should prioritise to change? Let's get that. Can we get that up on the screen, please? Yeah, we get that up on the screen. Here we go. What do we think? I think we need to prioritise changing the minds of parents, because they will tell the politicians what to do, and then the media will listen to them. So no, not politicians. Not politicians. I don't even know how to do this. How do I do this? How do I poll?
Valerie, there's a clear ranking coming through. This is your question.
Is it in the conversation? How do we do it?
But I agree with the wisdom of the crowd, actually, that I think the quality of political debate around education is pitiful, absolutely pitiful. And we need, in my view, to be engaging with the new generation of politicians who are coming through, particularly at the local level, to enable them to start using a different kind of language. Otherwise, we continue to be trapped in the old paradigm with the old purposes. And, you know, with all due respect to what Mohit had to say, that the danger is that we just sort of get better at a bad game. So the mindset shift for me.
This lady's amazing, Valerie from the Innovation Foundation. My goodness, they're doing incredible work. They really are doing some great work.
But for the common good.
Let's come back a little bit. So here I am on the stage. This is Valerie Hannon from. Turn the audio down a bit. Valerie Hannon, who is at the Innovation Unit, a fantastic team of people who are. Let's get rid of all these buttons on. I hope this is still coming out over there. I hope Mrs. Creativity still. We've got a bit of an audience. That's all right. I'm not too fast. It's all good. Another poll coming up. Oh, this is so exciting.
To what level do you think? Have we got the link yet?
It's the same link.
Oh, it's the same link. Okay, so if you go to the same link. To what level do you think your current use of EdTech will continue post-pandemic? It'll stay the same, 100%. Go down to 75%, 50, 25, or pre-COVID level.
What level do you think current use of EdTech will continue post-pandemic? Well, it's going to go higher, isn't it? Of course it's going to go higher. Okay, that's exciting. It looks like I've done that. Do I have to go back to the Zoom Teams now or something, do I? Let's have a look. Oh dear, I don't know what's going on here. How do we get see voting results? Oh, I've lost Teams now. How do I get Teams back?
So, Mohit, your question, what's your response? What do you think?
I mean, this was generally meant to be a poll rather than a right answer, but it's very encouraging to see that 91% of people are thinking it's going to be at least 50% of the current level, which is very promising, because obviously if we hadn't had the COVID, I think the
obviously I misunderstood the question.
Rate of adoption would have been like this kind of pace of change would have taken 5 years. So I think what happened in 1 year.
Yeah.
So this is quite a big step change.
Can I turn the question a bit pessimistic? Can I ask, do you think people have got Zoom fatigue and they are fed up with screens? And do you think that there's going to be not a do you think they're going to go, I just don't want to do things on screens for a bit?
I think 100% there's going to be a lot of that. But also the question I would ask is, it's the benefit of digitization. So if you have been previously staying up late till 11 at night marking homework, and now you're getting a report instantly done for you at 6 p.m. when students are, and you can see instantly results coming in as students are finishing or turning in their homework, and you don't have to mark things. You can analyze what the strengths and weaknesses of every child is, rather than have to slave away until 11. So I think you might put up with Zoom fatigue a little bit more because you see the benefits of EdTech. It's kind of saying when you go from an analog telephone to a digital mobile phone, okay, there might be initial hiccups with infrastructure, signal loss, etc. But once it gets embedded, you will never go back to the old way of using telephone, because you know the pains with it, and the innovation is there for a reason.
Okay, fantastic. So that leads to my first question. And for everyone else, if you have questions, do drop them into the chat. And if I go on too long, I'm sure Karen will tell me to turn over to your questions. Okay, so my first one is sort of related to that. It's about changing the story of education and where that change story might come from. So a lot of
I've got my hand up for a question. You'll be glad to know.
Story a lot, but and the change comes from outside.
Today is
So we see
World.
this, I think,
Let's turn him down a bit.
Talked, Mohit, about the iPod.
So
the
many
impact
buttons
of
to
that,
press
and
here.
And the music industry's absolute resilience to admitting.
So I'm hoping I'll get the chance to ask a question or to make a point more than anything, actually, because I think these education conferences have got one big lesson to learn. And hey, who the hell am I to tell them what to do? What do I know? Let's face it, not much. Today's World Creativity and Innovation Day. We are proud at STEAMco to be the UK country champion for the World Creativity and Innovation Day. Just wonderful. We've done events all this week as part of our hashtag Inspired to Learn summer term. And I'd just like, if you don't mind, to just
I think it's a really serious question.
play this little video to sort of set the scene of today. Welcome to World Creativity and Innovation Week. We are so proud here at STEAMco to be the UK country champion for World Creativity and Innovation Week. And at the moment we are restreaming with Cambridge Assessment, who are running a fantastic event, following on from an event they ran last year about reimagining the future of education. Today is themed, what is blocking real change in education? And I'm sure we've all got our opinions and we've all got our thoughts about that. Some I can say, some I can't say, but that's never stopped me before. Truly, truly wonderful. This is Valerie Hannon, who's an amazing, amazing woman at the Innovation Unit, which is a... Oh, can't hear it. Why can't I hear it? Oh, because I've got clicked the wrong button. I need to put my glasses on for clicking these buttons. There we go. I've got a rather complicated system in front of me, if anybody really wants to know. So please bear with me. I've put my hand up for a question. It'd be lovely to get a question in.
The impact of tech and the especially the technology.
Dan Frost, the chair, who's on a fairly ropey internet connection, ironically.
Happens and it changes the industry. Do we know what good looks like in EdTech, and do we agree?
Okay, in a few minutes I'm going to have to go because we're actually live at 1 o'clock with a school in Caerphilly in Wales. Let's turn him down. We're actually live with a school in Caerphilly in Wales at 1 o'clock, and I've got to do a system test with them in a moment, which means I'm going to have to drop out of this Teams call. Who's just messaged? Radio can give your eyes a brightness. A very good point, Mrs. Creativity. We love radio. We don't just love radio. We love the people who make radio. People like you and Russell Prue. I reached out to Russell the other day actually because we were quite keen to find a school in Wales. I know Russell's done a lot with the Welsh Government and school communities across Wales, and he connected us with a fantastic school, the White Rose Primary School, just down from Caerphilly. Almost like between Merthyr and Caerphilly from what I could see. I was down that way last summer, so I feel like a bit of an expert. And truly, truly wonderful that Russell's made that connection for us. So we're really very, very, very pleased about that. Delighted here to be celebrating creativity for World Creativity and Innovation Week. Mrs. Creativity, Maria, is going to be joining us tonight actually. I haven't even had a minute to get the schedules done, but people know roughly when they're on and we're going with the flow. So Russell and Mrs. Creativity are coming on tonight. We're hopefully going to get one of the school leaders from that school in Wales to talk about their Welsh curriculum and how they're collaborating, because that's the message I've got for this audience here, for this conference. Collaborate. We don't need more conferences about education with just educators at them. We need more conferences about education with communities in them, with business leaders, with people from the creative industries, people from industrial world, people from policy, people from schools, people from all walks of society. It takes a whole village to inspire a child, and that's what we're going to be talking about today when we go to that community in Wales. Those Welsh villages right up there in the Rhondda Valley and near Merthyr. It's going to be absolutely, that was me bluffing it, wasn't it? It isn't the Rhondda Valley. I just think all valleys are called the Rhondda Valley. There's one valley called the Rhondda because it's got the River Rhondda running up it. That was me being absolutely ignorant. And I have got some Welsh cred, I must admit. I'm from Shropshire, and my godfather, Uncle Arthur, and my Auntie Pam's godmother, and Leslie and Brian, they're all in South Wales. And, well, Uncle Brian's passed now, sadly. Uncle Arthur has, but Uncle Brian hasn't. Oh my goodness, I should be careful. There's a bit of a death wish coming out here if I'm not careful. So we are going to be going off air in 4 minutes. This is just a little snippet just to show what a restream looks like. And this, as I say, really is fantastic. This is the Cambridge Assessment What is Blocking Real Change in Education event. And if you sign up for that, they're recording the whole thing and you can get it. But we've done a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking. Now, this guy is brilliant. You won't see many people like this. This guy is a computer games developer and he's talking about gamifying education.
So I've been called out for spending too much time on EdTech, which is, yes, I had a couple of questions and I've spent the first bit on that. I want to move it though to something else. I want to think a bit more positively about, so we were talking about creativity and innovation and the fact that requires bringing together different ideas. And Alison had this idea of the bridges or the connectors, the people who think across domains. Where are they? So Valerie, where are we going to find these people who are going to connect these different ideas and build this?
Well, they're all around. It's about education getting out of its bubble, really. And connecting to many other strands of thought and engagement, many forms of campaigning. But I want to pick up and link your point with something that Mohit just said. I mean, I think increasingly we ought to be talking about learning ecosystems and not just freestanding institutions. And, you know, head teachers and principals whose work increasingly, and indeed systems, some local authorities, I've mentioned a few in a minute, and some cities like Helsinki, are talking the talk of learning ecosystems. So you're not like a siloed institution, but you're permeable horizontally. So what are the learning resources available to you in your locality? And now, of course, actually globally. I've been doing interviews with a bunch of schools for a project called The Future School. The book is coming out later in the year. And I'm really struck that one of the principles that these schools really take to themselves is the idea that they need to be ecosystemic. That is to say, what other organizations can I partner with in a really genuine way to bring their learning resources to the service of my learners? Because as Mohit was saying, not every school can be expert on AI and machine learning. It won't happen. It's too much of an ask for many teachers. But you can connect with a local startup or with a local entrepreneur or perhaps a local university and create multiple forms of partnership horizontally so that you'll see yourself as part of a net or a web of learning resources that enrich the learning pathways for your learners. And I just increasingly see schools as being kind of choreographers of learning as well as kind of direct delivery. And I hope that that's the way we go, as well as just to repeat myself, seeing schools as absolutely fundamentally important institutions in the remaking of our societies, if we want equitable and thriving societies, which I happen to think we do.
I love that we've got choreography in now as well. So we've got street football choreography and things. Okay, let's open it up to questions. I'm going to just go down. I'm not sure how many who's had their hand up the longest. Nick Corsten.
Well, hello. Fingers and thumbs. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
You don't know how much that means to me to hear that, because I've got a bit of tech going on here, I must admit, and Teams nearly defeated me. I can't compliment you enough for this event, actually. I mean, to hear that chap there talking about the gamification of education and bringing the talent in our creative industries, particularly in our games industries, because we've got kids now, we've all got kids who are addicted to computer games. That is the new social platform for those kids, where they're spending every evening. Their water cooler moments the next day are built on those gaming platforms, but also that is where they want to be learning. And we've dragged our kids back to school, and I say back. Professor Siddhartha Mitra spoke to us the other week. He said our kids need to be leaping forward, flying high, not jumping back. So to that point that was just made there, but from the Innovation Foundation, we've got to start the real conversation. I believe the real conversation is actually we've got to start collaborating. It's not just about talking. There's enough talk in the world. So Ken Robinson did the only talk we need to watch. As far as I'm concerned, we need to walk that talk. And I think the work you're doing here is wonderful, but I think you need to set a quota of at least 30% people in education conferences that aren't from education. Because as Mohit just said there, and Professor Siddhartha Mitra did with his Granny Cloud, Professor Siddhartha Mitra wants to build a teacher cloud, so that every child in the world can access the best teachers, and they may not be in their schools. We've got the technology, and frankly, we need 120% technology, but it's not just about technology, as we know. So brilliant work. I'm really sorry. I'm actually live streaming for World Creativity Day for the United Nations today, and I've got to go to Caerphilly now, like you do. As you know, Wales is rolling out a new curriculum, and it's just wonderful. Mick Waters said Wales has got the best curriculum in the world. And I'm just a dad, and I learned one thing. I might argue with a few head teachers, but I will never argue with a professor of education like Mick Waters, like Bill Lucas or Ken Robinson. Thanks for letting me rant and rave. I think what you're doing is brilliant. I was at your last event, and I look forward to some more of your sandwiches at the next event. Thank you so much for letting me get a few words in.
Yeah, we can't provide you with sandwiches and goodies.
Sorry to go on. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Oh, all right. Okay, any responses to that?
Nick's got his hand up. Oh, sorry. Leave that. Sorry.
Nick,
Yes,
Neelam. Neelam?
Not me.
Well, there we
Sorry,
go.
I
That
didn't
told
have
them. So it's all
Okay,
good.
no,
It's
okay.
all good. It's all
Right,
collaboration.
there's been a
So
lot of chat going on.
I'm going to play it now. I've got to go to Wales.
I'm struggling to find
So
any
thanks for
questions.
joining
Any
us.
questions?
Elam, I think.
Yeah, look at.
Thanks for joining us. We'll be back later on. Watch this space. World Creativity Day, World Creativity Week, Steamco proud sponsors, or not sponsors, UK country champions. We're live in Caerphilly at 1 o'clock. So thanks for checking us out.